Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week section on eFootball. It's another national players pack, and we've got players this time from both Euro 24 and also the Copa America. There's also a French Ligue 1 Player of the Season pack. I'll be reviewing that separately because there are some decent looking cards in there. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about in this pack, just click on the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So, 11 players in here, a couple of 4 stars as always. Let's start with the lowest rated, and that is Araújo. So we got a left midfielder, cross specialist from Uruguay. He's a 4-star card, so he's not really brilliant, but he's kind of okay. I think if you like this type of player, he's one of these wingers where he's very much a kind of old school winger. He's a left footer playing on the left, and he's all about pace, dribbling, crossing. He's just going to run up and down the line getting crosses in. If that's the type of winger that you like to use, he's decent. Obviously not amazing as a 4-star card, but he's got some qualities. Compared to his base card, it's another one of his weird ones. He's a little bit worse on the ball. He's taken a little bit off his stamina as well. But outside of that, he has had a boost across his other attributes, especially his finishing up to 82. As you can see, the dribbling is good. Even though he's not quite as good on the ball as his base card, the dribbling is good. Ball control is a bit poor though, and tight possession is not brilliant. Low pass is a bit iffy. Be careful with his passing, but lofted pass, as I mentioned, he's got a cross on him. 84 lofted, 81 curl, 82 kicking power. As we see from his skills, does have pinpoint crossing. They've added a few skills to him. They've given him long range curler, long range shooting, and one touch pass, which is good. That will help with his low pass not being great. So he's got some end product there. He's got a few skill moves as well for the dribblers and soul control, which is nice. Long range curler, I'm not sure how useful that is. He's left footed. He's not outside curler and he plays on the left. So yeah, long range curler, pretty useless to be honest, but certainly pinpoint crossing especially, and the fact he's got long range shooting with a big boost on his finishing, which is 82, which is good for a wide midfielder. He's got some end product on him, and he's got some good pace as well. He's quick, decent kicking power. Balance is pretty poor to be honest. I'd like a bit more balance on him, and stamina as well. A little bit disappointing. His stamina's down from his GP card a bit, but yeah, ultimately, it just comes down to whether you like this type of wing. If you like an old school winger, cross specialist playing style, so he's going to stay out wide and try and take up positions to get crosses in. If you like the kind of winger, he's got the pace, dribbling, even if his ball control and tight possession are a bit dodgy. It's two of the main reasons why his rating's not higher and he's only a 4-star. But yeah, the pace, the dribbling and crossing, if that's what you want to focus on with a winger, he could be a tidy one to pick up. But beyond that, he is a bit limited. So for people who don't like that type of winger, not a great card to be honest. Next we got Csoboth. Probably said that wrong. So this is our other 4-star player. He's normally a roaming flank. They made him a whole player and they're giving him right midfield. So compared to his GP card, on the ball is a bit worse, slightly worse balance and stamina. Across his other attributes though, pretty nice boost on the whole. In terms of his skills, we'll go to his skills first. They've added first time shot. They've made him a super sub, and they get him fighting spirit. He's already got long range curler. Self control's nice. A few skill moves. Yeah, the question is how to use this guy because he's right footed. When you look at the end product he's got, his passing is not brilliant. Low pass isn't great. Lofted pass isn't great. Doesn't really have anything around his passing to give him some end product. No through passing, no pinpoint crossing. So it's really about the shooting. If he's right-footed, he's got good finishing. He's got first-time shot. He's got long-range curler. You really want him on the left flank. So the fact they're giving him right midfield and whole player, it's kind of pointless. I think I prefer him with his normal playing style of roaming flank as a left wing forward, to be honest. Turning inside, hitting those long-range curlers. But yeah, in terms of his qualities, he's got pace. I'd like him to be a bit better on the ball. Good attacking awareness. The finishing, like I say, that's the one strength he has when it comes to end product. But yeah, inconsistent form, a bit dodgy. As a super sub, yeah, like I say, I think if I use this guy, he's going to be coming off the bench playing as a left wing forward. His new position, playing style just don't really suit the qualities he has. Yes, he's got pace, he can get up and down the pitch, he'll get into good positions, and he can finish, of course, coming in from the right flank. But I think he's most effective will be playing as a left wing forward. And in that position, yes, he's got pace. He's not too bad on the ball. As a super sub, could be tricky coming off the bench. But ultimately, it is a 4-star card. I don't think it's a bad card, but it's not a particularly great one either. So maybe it's a super sub that might come in handy here and there, but ultimately, it's not a brilliant card on the whole. Now we've got a goalkeeper. I'm pretty sure this is the first featured version of Bravo that we've had in the game. And I'll be honest, he's pretty tidy. He's not the biggest keeper, obviously. He's about 6 foot. He's not tiny, but for a goalkeeper, I think most of us want to keep it to be a bit taller than that. But he's had a nice boost compared to his GP card. And when you look at the attributes, awareness, parrying, reflexes, reach, all 4 of those, if you've got an 88 rated manager, all 4 of those are going to get to 90 plus in the game plan. Catching isn't even going to be bad either. It's going to go up to about 86, 87. This guy's got some really good goalkeeper attributes. So, yeah, there's not a huge amount to say about this guy, to be honest. He's not the biggest, but I think the attributes make up for that. I think this is a good goalie card. To have 4 of the 5 goalie attributes hitting 90 with the game plan boost, I think is pretty impressive. It's just the height. I think that's the only reason his rating's only 92, because height is a big factor in a goalkeeper's rating. But yeah, bit on the small side. Obviously, he's a player of the week keeper, so he can't jump. Konami logic. But with these attributes here, I think this is a good goalkeeper card. Now we've got Trauner from Feyenoord. We've got a build-up centre-back. He's about 6 foot, not the tallest centre-back. In terms of the attributes, fairly strong defensively. If you don't like, if you like your centre-backs to be more aggressive, the aggression might be a bit of a concern. Engagement could be a bit higher, but it's not disastrous. That tackling should hit at 90 with a good enough manager in the game plan boost. Awareness already at 90. Jumping and physical, he's had a bit of a boost on his physical contact. Elsewhere, this is passing. He's had a bit of a boost. Apart from that, not the most exciting boost. I've not done a great deal from his GP card, to be honest. But like I say, he's got some defensive qualities there. Aerial and physical are good. That's important on the guy who's not the biggest centre back. Pace isn't the best. Balance is pretty horrible. So in terms of his pace, manoeuvrability, that's the one concern really with this guy. But yeah, he's got some qualities there. And down the left, that ball control is going to get to 70 with the game plan boost. Low and lofted pass already in the 70s. So yeah, some of these attributes pretty decent, to be fair. We've looked at the skills. The one skill they've added is blocker, and that actually completes the set as a centre-back because he's got heading and aerial superiority. Again, very important on the guy who's not the biggest, but he's got the aerial and physical stats, and now he's got the skills as well. Then we've got man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, captaincy, fighting spirit. I think that's pretty much the complete set of the centre-back. And then weighted pass is a nice little bonus as well, especially with his passing being boosted up into the 70s on both low and lofted. So yeah, he's not the tallest in terms of the pace and manoeuvrability, bit of a question mark. Some could question the aggression, maybe even the engagement, but I think ultimately on the whole, certainly not an elite level centre back, but he looks like a pretty decent one, to be fair. And here is our first booster from the pack. So we've got a rare James Rodríguez card. First thing I'm going to say with this card is annoying. He plays for Sao Paulo now in Brazil, and Konami just seem to want to ignore the fact that the Brazilian league exists because he's not assigned to Sao Paulo still. So he's not going to get live update. And if you get the Brazilian league event, he won't be eligible, even though he plays for Sao Paulo, which is just really frustrating. But looking at the card, how good it is. There's only been one feature version of him before. It was in a Colombia pack. There was that random Colombia pack they did ages ago. That was a Classic 10, which is his normal playing style. And it was probably better suited to Classic 10 than this one, whereas this one, probably a bit better suited to playing as a right wing forward, which is his registered position on this card. And he's got the prolific winger playing style this time. In terms of what they've done on his attributes, they've kind of shuffled his on the ball attributes here slightly around. I think dribbling's up a bit, the other two down a bit. Again, that probably suits him better as a right wing forward than playing centrally. His finishing's had a nice boost. His pace has had a nice boost. We're going to hit the booster in a moment. Yeah, let's have a look at his skills before we hit the booster. So in terms of his skills, they've added double touch and they've added long range curler, which is a good one to add. And likewise, one touch pass is a good one. He's already got long range shooting there. Heel chick's nice. One touch pass and through passing, pinpoint crossing. He's got some end product on him, this guy. So yeah, got a good selection of skills, whichever position you use him in, wide right or attacking midfield. I wouldn't touch centre midfield with him. Not a chance. He can't defend to save his life. But as an attacking midfielder, even without a playing style active, I think he looks like he's very usable. And right wing forward, certainly they've made him a lot more viable for that position, even if he's probably still a little bit slow. But if we hit that boost, as you see, get even more in his speed. So still not the quickest, but a big upgrade on his GP card. And quicker than the other feature version we've had of him. Stamina goes up a bit as well. Lofted pass goes up to 94. So yeah, he's got pinpoint crossing. If you're playing this guy on the right, you come inside and hit a kind of in swinging cross. Should be a decent one because lofted pass 94, curl 89 is going past 90 with your game plan boost. Kicking power is decent as well. You have a deadly cross on him. His passing will be good. Not amazing with 85 low passes. Not elite level by any means, but he's got one touch passing, through passing. Tidy on the ball. Attacking ways is going past 80 with your game plan boost. 84 for finishing. Again, we've got long range curler and long range shooting. 84 finishing. He's got a lot of end product. It might just be one of these where it's a question of which position do you play him in, and do you mind the fact he's not the best athlete in terms of the speed and the balance? If those things bother you, might be better suited to playing through the middle. Certainly got the technical ability, but if you're not too bothered about the pace, he could play either position. He's got end product. He's technically really, really nice, and a lot of people have found this guy in real life. So yeah, only had one feature version of him before. If you are a fan of him, you might be really excited to pick this card up. But either way, depending on your whether you're concerned about that pace and maneuverability, could be pretty viable in both those positions. He's got a lot of end product. He could be very usable, certainly when he gets A form. But like I say, they don't seem to want to acknowledge the fact that he plays in the Brazilian league, so it looks like he's not going to be getting much form, which is really frustrating. But he's got quite a bit of quality and a bit of a rare card, this one. So yeah, for a lot of people, it could be a really, really fun one to pick up. Now we have the Vrij from Inter. So pretty solid card this. We've had a legend version of the Vrij, and a couple of feature ones have been slightly better than this. So it's not the best one we've had, certainly, but it is a decent one. In terms of the attributes, his defensive engagement is down a little bit, and his aggression as well. Physical contact seems to be up a bit. His passing's had a bit of a boost as well. Outside of that, it's not a massive boost, not the most exciting one. Like I say, it's by no means the best version of the Vrij we've had, but looking at it in isolation, as a build-up centre-back, about 6'2", 6'3", pretty strong defensive attributes. Jumping, I'd like it to be a bit higher. Physical's good though at 90. It's had a bit of a boost, as I mentioned. Might just be one of these cards where it comes down to the pace. You don't mind a centre back not having much pace. It could be very good for you. Certainly got qualities. I think he's okay down the left. Certainly with the passing. The defensive attributes down the middle, those core defensive attributes are strong. Even if they've nerfed his aggression and engagement a little bit for some reason. Like I say, 6'2", 6'3", 80 jumping is not brilliant, but he does have aerial superiority. Don't think they've done anything else with his skills, to be honest. Heading and aerial superiority, and then they've got man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, captaincy, fighting spirit. I think it's just acrobatic clearance he's really missing as a centre back. But yeah, he's got pretty much everything you need from a centre back, to be honest. I'd like a bit more in his jumping, and I'd like a bit more in his pace. If those things don't concern you, it's a pretty good, solid centre back card. Now we have Rabiot. So again, like with the Vrij, it's not the most exciting version of him because we have had a few slightly better ones, but it's still a pretty good card. They're giving him a bit of a boost from his GP card, except his passing, which is slightly down, which is very annoying, especially in the centre mid. Skill-wise, they've taken away knuckle shot and low lofted pass, and they've added long range shooting and track back. So nothing game-changing there, but a couple of interesting changes. We've already got one-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, so he's got some nice passing skills. Interception, very important one in the box-to-box. At 6'2", with heading and aerial superiority, he's very good in the air for a centre midfielder. That's worth keeping in mind. Yeah, just looking at it in isolation, it's a fairly good card. Like I say, not the most exciting version of him. We all got the, or most of us would have got the free version of him. There's just been giving out some free France and Argentina cards. To be honest, if you got the free Rabiot, you don't need this one. I wouldn't say there's a big difference either way. I think this one, depending how you train him, if you go on auto allocation at least, I would say the defending I think is a bit better on this one. Passing a bit better on the free one. But and the physical contact's a bit better on this one actually as well. But yeah, ultimately, if you got the free one, and if you like Rabiot, you don't need to spend money trying to get this one. There's not a lot of difference. You know, one or two things slightly better, slightly worse, but ultimately it's pretty similar to that free one, really. And yeah, like I say, it's not the most exciting version of him, but if you look at it in isolation, if you don't have another good version of him, then it is a pretty good centre midfield card. Nothing special, but still pretty good. Next up is Julian Álvarez. So we have a goal poacher version of Álvarez. He's normally a deep lying forward. In terms of the overall boost, it's not the most exciting boost again. But yeah, I mean his balance is down a bit. His stamina's down a bit. But yeah, other than that, he's had a bit of a boost across the board. Nothing too exciting. We have had a previous goal poacher player of the week. That one was a bit better technically than this one. But this one's got a bit more with the attack awareness, the finishing, and the pace. So depends what you want from an Álvarez card. But certainly as a goal poacher, I think this one certainly has attributes that suit that playing style better. The awareness and finishing are going to hit 90 with if you get the maximum game plan boost, which is great. He's tidy enough on the ball for a goal poacher, certainly centre forward. Passing, that's okay for centre forward. Over here, he's a bit quicker than that previous goal poacher version. I actually got that goal poacher player of the week card, and I've got to be honest, I didn't really like it. I never really got on with it. The stats look good. It looked like it'd be a good card, but for whatever reason, I used it quite often in the English League Challenge, and it just never really did it for me. I don't know if that's the lack of pace and awareness on a goal poacher, which are important, because this one is better in those areas, like I say. But yeah, it'll be interesting for me to see if I get this card, if he's if I get along better with him. But yeah, as a goal poacher, I would like a bit more speed, even with this being boosted on that previous version. 81 is not the highest for a goal poacher, but he does have great acceleration at 90. Kicking power, very nice. That's getting up to around the 90 mark with a game plan boost. Balance 86. Like I say, the balance and stamina down slightly from his GP card, but still decent, very decent balance. Unwavering form is a nice bonus. If we look at the skills, don't think they've done anything, to be honest. Yeah, that's his usual skills that you get from Álvarez. So first time shot, the most important one on a centre forward. He's got long range shooting as well. One touch passing, through passing are nice. His passing is not as nice as it has been on other versions. Pinpoint crossing, don't think that's really going to come into the equation, but yeah, certainly the passing will help. And first time shot, the most important one. So yeah, it's a pretty tidy looking goal poacher version of Álvarez, to be honest. The only thing that for me that stopped this from being a really top centre forward card is that the speed isn't higher. If he had sort of maybe at least mid 80s for speed and he looked at all the other attributes, you'd have to say this is a really, really tasty looking goal poacher. Without more speed, I think it looks good, just not that amazing. But certainly, I think for a lot of people, it will be very nice. And, for a goal poacher, like the reason I go on about speed, I always say it, goal poachers will be running in behind the centre-backs a lot. So you need that speed to make the most of the playing style. But that's not all they do. They will be taking up good positions in and around the box. And with the qualities this guy's got, he does it like a very, very decent card. So, yeah, I would like more speed to make the most of the playing style. But as a version of Álvarez, it's a bit different to other ones because most of them aren't goal poachers. It's certainly a decent card. I think a lot of people really like this card, and I'll be quite intrigued if I pick this card up just to find out if it works a bit better for me than the previous goal poacher version did. Now we've got Zinchenko. So we've got a fullback finisher left back who is not quick enough to be a left back. I'm going to be upfront on that. Obviously, it all comes down to opinion. If you don't mind your left back not being quick, then he could be decent for you. He's got some decent defensive attributes, very good technically for a left back, good stamina. But yeah, that playing style fullback finisher is going to be drifting up into the midfield, taking up positions in the middle, quite central, vacating his defensive position. A lot of people do not like that. I don't. If you do like that, and if you don't mind the lack of pace, could be a very tidy left back, attacking left back. But for me personally, I don't like the lack of pace more than anything. You do have two other positions on this guy. You've got left midfield, you've got centre midfield. As a left midfielder, again, if you don't mind the lack of pace, the defensive attributes have become a bonus. And then you look at these attributes, he's tidy on the ball. He's not amazing, but he's pretty tidy. He's got really good passing and crossing. He would be playing like a kind of Beckham style of winger, not relying on his pace. Just get him on the ball, be tidy in possession, put some good passes and crosses into dangerous positions. He could be very effective as an old school left winger. If we look at the skills, they've added one touch pass, through passing, and interception. So those are some really valuable skills they've added. One touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing, low lofted pass. He's got a lot of end product when it comes to creating. Interception is a nice one. If you play him as a centre midfielder, it's an important one. So one touch pass, through passing, interception. You look at this guy as a centre midfielder now. I think that's where you're in business with this guy. There's been a previous box-to-box player of the week. I think I've got that one. I've got a version of him that can play centre mid. It's actually pretty nice. A bit better than this one, to be fair. But this is still one that I think would be pretty good as a centre midfielder. Looking at the attributes now, as a centre mid, attacking awareness is decent enough, likewise defensive, on the ball tidy, passing, like you've seen with those skills that he's got, pretty good passing. The defensive attributes, reasonably strong for a centre mid, pace is fine for a centre mid, kicking power is pretty decent. I'd like a bit more physical contact on centre mid, but you can't have it all. Decent balance, good stamina. I think centre mid is where this guy's best, to be honest. With the skills he's got, the attributes he's got, he's going to get around, he's going to do a bit of his defensive work, he's got really nice passing. I see this guy as a centre mid, really. There've been one or two slightly better versions. Like I say, there was the box-to-box one that's, I think, is better in midfield. There's one of those kind of legend play-to-win boxes. He goes up to 96, I think, which is obviously quite a bit better than this one. But yeah, for this one, like I say, if depending on what you're concerned about, you might like this guy as an attacking left back if you don't mind the lack of pace and the fullback finisher playing style. There's an old school left mid, not the most electric pace, but certainly with the technical ability and some really good end product, he could be a very effective left midfielder. But as a centre midfielder, I think that's where he's best, and I think it could be a pretty good card in that position. We finish up with 2 booster cards. First of those 2 is Bernardo Silva. So, attribute-wise, well, playing style, the usual playing style, usual positions, and no changes there. In terms of the attributes, they made him a little bit worse on the ball. We'll come to that when we activate the booster. Passing, low pass up 1, lofted down a couple, so yeah, about the same, I guess. Attacking awareness is good. Finishing's had a nice boost. They've actually boosted his speed a little bit, and his kicking power. Balance is slightly down, so yeah, a few slight ups and slight downs. Nice boost in his finishing though. And when we look at his skills, they've added first time shot. They've also added one touch pass. So 2 very nice additions there. They've taken away his Scotch move. I think most of us can live without that. Low off the pass, bit of a shame, but I think certainly having one touch pass and first time shot added is a big addition. He normally doesn't have one touch pass, especially on the type of player he is that he's very much a playmaker. That's a big addition. Already got through passing. But yeah, with the shooting, with his finishing being boosted, long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot, he's got a nice shot on him. And then of course with his passing, one touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing as well, outside curler is nice. He's not got elite level passing by any means, but still, yeah, it would have been nice if they boosted his passing a bit more. They never seem to give him particularly high passing. It's a strange one. He's certainly very good at passing in real life, but yeah, as I mentioned, he does have a booster, and if we activate the booster, his on the ball attributes here go from being a bit worse with his GP card to when he's on A form, about as good as his GP card. Amazing. His low pass gets a bit more of a boost as well. That's a nice one. On the ball though, I've said this before, I don't see why you would need a player of the week card to be on A form to be as good as his GP card. It's just mental to me, but it is what it is. Like I say, there's a bit of a boost to some of his attributes. On the whole, it is boosted from his GP card. Unwavering form as well. Yeah, nice additions to his skills. It's just the same kind of Bernardo Silva that we usually get. It's just a nice addition to his skills, and yeah, one or two attributes boosted a little bit. Not overly exciting, but if you want a good version of Bernardo Silva, it is a good version of him. We've had a nominating contract on. I never fully got along with it. I think more than anything, it was the pace that held him back a little bit. I played him on the right, and he is a bit slower there. And I had more speed on my one as well, so I certainly wouldn't use this one wide right, but I think certainly attacking midfield, that's the one position this guy's going to be best in as a creative playmaker. You don't need the speed so much there. He's got some decent acceleration, certainly. The balance, not as high as it could be, but still 90 is good before your game plan boost. Stamina, good stamina. On the ball, certainly when he's on A form, good. I've mentioned what I've mentioned about the GP card. I won't go on about that, but certainly on A form, very good on the ball. Even without the A form, he's going to be 90 plus in all 3 of these with your game plan boost. Good attacking awareness for an attacking midfielder. Passing could be higher, but yeah, it's still decent enough with the skills he's got. One touch pass is a nice addition. Finishing at 80 before your game plan boost, and with the shooting skills he's got now, he's certainly got a lot of end products. So yeah, it's not the most exciting version of Bernardo Silva. There's been one or two better ones for sure, but looking at it in isolation as a version of him with the skills I've added, certainly is a pretty tidy card. And we finish up with another player from Man City, and we have Kevin De Bruyne with the whole player playing style. So we have had 2 previous whole player versions of De Bruyne. Both of them were player of the week cards. I think one was Champions League. essentially what we've got here compared to those two is a bit less on the passing, but a bit more pace. So that's going to come down to personal preference, whether you think that's an upgrade or not. So, but yeah, slightly different version. Compared to his GP card and those other cards, passing is not as great. It's not as great as his passing tends to be. His balance is down a little bit as well, which is annoying. But he's had a nice boost on his finishing, and he's had a nice boost on his pace. So some pluses and some minuses. It's an interesting card, this. I don't mind if one or two things get nerfed, as long as there are some nice enough boosts elsewhere. We saw Bernardo Silva, his finishing has been put up a bit. Likewise with De Bruyne here, especially with the pace. It's not. I don't know if we've had a version of De Bruyne as quick as that. If we have a look at his skills before we do the booster, so they've taken away weighted pass. That's a bit of a shame. Weighted pass is an important one. I'm sure there's another one here they could have taken away instead, but yeah, weighted pass is gone. They've added first time shot, so we do have a good one instead, but yeah, I think maybe something else could have been taken away. Maybe his captaincy or something, or they was captain in that match, so I guess that would make sense. But yeah, no weighted pass, got first time shot instead. It's otherwise is what you usually have from De Bruyne. It's what you expect. Long range shooting, a first time shot. So with the boost to his finishing, he's going to have a very nice shooting on him. And then of course with his passing, maybe not as good as it normally is, but one touch pass, through passing. Low lifted pass down there. He's got outside curler. Soul control is a nice one. Yeah, he's got a great selection of skills. And like I say, we do have a booster, and if we activate the booster, we get even more pace on him. The balance goes up. So with the game plan boost, you are going to make it to the 80 mark for balance. More stamina on him as well. But certainly with that pace, that's the one thing that makes this De Bruyne card different to most other De Bruyne cards. Yes, the passing is as good as it normally is, but it's already good though. Yeah, I don't think you need to worry too much about that pace, that passing being a bit lower than you'd like it to be. On the ball, tidy. Attacking awareness, good. Finishing, like I say, nice boost. You've got some really nice finishing. And with that pace and the whole player playing style, this could be a really, really interesting version of De Bruyne. I don't usually play an attacking midfielder, but I'll still be pretty keen to get this card because I don't know if there are going to be many cards of De Bruyne quite like this one. It's a very interesting one with the playing style, with what they've done with the attributes, especially when he gets A form. So yeah, I think certainly I think it's fair to say this card is the pick of the pack, and it's a very interesting one. So I think most people will probably be quite keen to get this card. So there you go. I think it's an interesting pack. I don't think it's a particularly good or bad one. I think you've got a mix in there. I think with the 2 4-stars, Araújo could be a useful one if he suits, if he suits you the way you play. Csoboth, however you say his name. Apologies if I got that wrong. Not too excited about him. Bravo. I think he's actually a really neat looking goalkeeper. I quite like the look of him. Trauner. Looks like a solid centre back to be fair. Rodríguez, I think, could be a really fun one for a lot of people. Vrij, solid centre back. Rabiot. Not overly exciting, but certainly a good card. Álvarez, I think, comes down to the speed. If you like your goal poachers to just be bombing in behind the centre backs, then that speed might frustrate you. It did on the previous goal poacher version that I got, but he's got a lot of qualities. I think for a lot of people, it could be a really nice centre forward. Zinchenko, not the best version we've had, but I think as a centre midfielder primarily, could be very, very tidy. Could be a decent left midfielder as well, but as a centre midfielder, I think that's where he's best, not left back. I don't think he's suited to left back. Bernardo Silva, not the most exciting version of him that we've had, but it's still a very good one. And then as we just looked at De Bruyne, I think that's a really interesting version of De Bruyne. That for me is my pick of the pack. I think that's a really, really good looking card. So yeah, some good ones in there. I think it's an interesting enough selection. As I mentioned at the start, there's the Liga and Player of the Season pack. I'm going to do a review of that one. I'll try and get that one done today, if not tomorrow. So keep your eyes out for that one. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you for watching as always. Do appreciate it. Take it easy. I'll see you soon.